Well, good morning, my friends. How is everybody? Rise and shine. Woo, I'm rising and shining because look at this. Sophia gifted like 35 memberships this morning. My goodness. Let's get our umbrellas out right off the bat. I might need to keep the trigger warning up all day long or show long because already Ramblin' Rome said, hey, I'm going to try to listen, but this itch really sets my rage. This is the show we do when I tell everybody, please check on our friend Just Me because she's not okay. And she's really not going to be okay today. Woo! Y'all wouldn't believe what old Crystal Sorey is up to. Now, I know how to step in it. I mean, I'm talking stink up to my ears. When we first started talking about Harmony Montgomery, there was a lot of people that were, we've seen it in other cases, they were Team Crystal. Oh, poor Crystal. Oh, poor Crystal. Oh, poor Crystal. Well, I just didn't take that approach because, I think she is a loser. For those of you that don't know what happened to Harmony Montgomery, I can tell you right now, little Harmony Renee, she was murdered by her father, Adam, or as we call him around here, Teardrop. She was awarded to her so-called father, because let's face it, Harmony never had parents. Harmony never had aunts, uncles, grandparents, friends of the family. She had no one in her corner except the foster family adored her and her little brother, Jameson. But she was subjected to repeated beatings by Adam. And after he killed her in front of her stepmother, Kayla, in a Burger King parking lot, they transported her around in a duffel bag. Yeah. Horrific. The worst. The worst. Let's take a minute and tell everybody good morning. Glad to see you. Glad you're here. It's Taco Tuesday, and we are going to keep going with Harmony Montgomery because you just can't even bottle up the disrespect that is going on in Harmony's name right now. Here, remember I say all the time, check on Susan because she's not okay. You guys are not going to do what we're looking at. Weeping Willow already said it's going to take a lot for this show. I can't stand this nasty. Susan, how are you doing this morning, my dear friend?
I am surviving right now. My blood pressure is good.
Okay. What would you
decided to come on?
You think it's like 120/80?
Yeah, a little bit. You know what she does to my blood pressure.
Well, I'm getting ready to raise your blood pressure because Crystal entered herself into the Supermom list.
It's not bad enough that her daughter's gone. She's going to grift off Jameson. And they lovingly allowed her into his life. And this is the way she pays him back. Yep. Fuck you, Crystal. Fuck you.
Fuck you. There you go. Let it out. As of yesterday, she was 9th. Today, 8th. Now then, as you can see, I'm not registered, I don't support, and I have not voted because I'm not voting for Crystal. Forget that.
I wouldn't either. Nope.
So this is from Woman's World magazine. Crystal, if she wins, which it looks to me like she's going to, She will get a weekend getaway in Napa, California, and she can take
Oh.
home $20,000.
And do exactly what with that $20,000?
Oh, it gets better.
Monster, monster.
Because are you a super mom? All right. They asked her, what is the most rewarding part of being a mom?
Yeah,
She said, being
that one.
she's not one. To me, this is a slam dunk.
Mm,
What is the most rewarding part of being a mom? She says, being able to heal parts of my childhood by being the best mother I can be and stop certain cycles from continuing. ... All right, let's focus on that for a second. Susan?
okay. Okay. Does she have a child? I thought she did.
No.
Has she lost it?
She has been an incubator, a human meat suit for 3 babies, and has custody of none of them. And as we know, Harmony was brutally murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. What part of her needs to heal from that? Harmony needed to heal from that. Did she give her Easter basket yet? Oh, that.
Yeah, remember that whole story? April of 2019, she was dangling that Easter basket on doing a FaceTime. And she said, well, when I see you, you're going to get this.
Yeah. Couldn't even get a well check for her.
And they even had an entire governor's report. Governor Sununu, I think that's how you pronounce it, in New Hampshire, had an entire governor's report done. And it came out ironclad that she lied about everything she said.
Well, she thinks she can lie. That's, yeah. As much as she repeats it, she thinks it'll become the truth. Or somebody's going to believe it. No.
Absolutely sick. So then they asked her, what is one memory of your kids that you will never forget? Okay, well, I'm going to start with the real mom. Susan, what is one memory of your children you will never forget? Just pick one. I know you have more than one child.
Watching them get married.
There you go.
Watching them become parents. Watching them grow up. I can't imagine. And what did she put?
Well, and if everybody wants to put their favorite memory of being a parent in here, please have at it. I've got too many to name one. I mean, them going to the military, them serving overseas, getting married, buying their first homes, their first steps, yelling fire in the local Walmart when I went and buy them a Power Ranger. You know, I have so many memories.
Yeah.
Each one being born, ... was a different experience.
When they were born addicted?
She said, each one being born was a different experience.
I thought they were all born addicted.
They were. So here's the thing.
How is that different?
Yep. I remember when my kids were born, and guess what? The police didn't escort me out.
Amen. Me either.
Social workers and law enforcement were not involved when my children were born.
Mine either.
Because they were all born addicted.
She still wants to call herself a super mom? No. I'm not buying.
Supermom. It says, they asked her, what would you do with $20,000? She said, I would buy a car because I don't have one right now and invest in my children.
She don't have any kids. How is she going to invest in them?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. You can't fix stupid.
Mm-mm.
Shh.
Doobie Scooby, what's going on, girlfriend? She said, how did she even get that title? Well, she doesn't have it yet. She's 8th. She's 8th in the contest.
I think that's the name of the contest for
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
Yeah. And so if she wins, and it looks like she's probably going to, then she will be called Super Mom. So it says, help Crystal Story become the next Super Mom while also helping support Children's Miracle Network in their commitment to save the lives of as many children as possible. Woohoo! All right.
Somebody might want to put a bug in their ear. Children's Miracle Network.
Add insult to injury, she's got pictures of Harmony, who was brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And she's got pictures of Jameson, who was put up for adoption, adopted by amazing men.
She's not his mother.
Nope.
He's been adopted. Harmony's dead. I don't know about her youngest. I was so hoping that she would be a better mother. I was rooting for you, Crystal. And you're going to come off with this bullshit.
Hey, we tried giving her the benefit of the doubt, as hard as it was.
I did.
Mm-hmm. You were nicer about it than me. Our friend Jay's back. He said, I think it takes more than 20 grand to raise a child.
Yeah, it does. She can take the school bus for all I care.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bug said, just because you gave birth doesn't make you a mother.
Good point.
All right. So she has pictures. Some of these pictures are not actually, I don't think any of these pictures, except for the youngest, are hers. So that's her youngest right there, who my understanding is a ward of the state.
So sad.
There she took a picture of a picture.
Yeah.
Of little Harmony. That's her youngest right there in a soggy diaper.
Mickey Mouse. Look at Mickey Mouse. Good land.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there's her youngest right there. And hey, this is public. I'm not stealing anyone's pictures. There's her son again. And look at her. She's got that big old long acrylic nail there in his food.
That's the boy? I thought it was a little girl.
I believe it's a boy. Okay. But I mean, I can't get over those skanky long nails in his or her food.
Ooh, I just saw that. Ugh. All right.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that nasty fingernail. There's Jameson, which she has no business posting his picture because he's been adopted by a very good family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody gave her that pillow that says bring Harmony home, and she takes a picture of the third child laying on the pillow. Way to go, Supermom. Oh, look at the little pink glasses. Oh, my heart.
And that's at the foster parents.
Yep.
How dare she?
And this is also with the foster parents, Harmony eating ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Because you know Adam wouldn't buy her ice cream.
Nope. All right, so I'm going to take that down for a second. Now then, let's get to, there's Jameson with Crystal and his adoptive fathers, who were doing what they could to keep Crystal in the picture, but it seemed like every time she showed up, money had to exchange hands. And it wasn't Crystal helping them out. It was the other way around. They've done all they can do. So I'm kind of doing this ass backwards today because I want you all to see how upset Blair Miller is.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Blair Miller put this on Twitter, now called X. Good morning, baby kisses. He said, "We were hoping this wouldn't be something we needed to address, but outside factors have left us no choice. We also know that this is being addressed on blogs and other social media groups, so we wanted to address it here directly because so many of you have been supportive to us, especially Jameson." I really admire this man, by the way. This week, we were informed that a contestant for Supermom contest was using our pictures of our son, Jameson, as her own in an effort to show she is his parent. She said she was planning to use the money from the contest to invest in my children. As many of you know, Jameson's biological mother, Crystal, lost custody before we adopted him. Not only that, she lied and said that she had to be there for Jameson's adoption, and that's the reason she couldn't go advocate for Harmony. We know that to be false because she didn't have custody and didn't need to be there. She did not, and she wasn't there. As many of you know, Jameson's biological mother, Crystal, lost custody before we adopted him. We have spent the past several days during our boys' spring break pleading with the website and the contestant, Jameson's biological mother, to remove his pictures. Well, as you can see, spring break is over, and I just showed you the website, and she hasn't taken anything down. We have been faced with emails from contest officials asking us to try and prove that Jonathan and I are Jameson's parents. We have been asked to provide sensitive legal documentation and other private information to show we are his dads. Tonight, the contest finally agreed to take down Jameson's pictures for the time being. We just saw they're not down, as they're still working to verify that we are indeed his parents. As they told us tonight, based upon our review, we will make an ultimate determination on whether or not to permit the images to be re-uploaded to the competitor's profile. He said, yes, we are in touch with legal counsel on how to proceed. Can you imagine?
Way to be the super mom there, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Put it to your children first, or are you drifting off of them? Bitch. God.
She's going to Nampa, California and getting 20 grand. Now
Yeah.
let's
Wine country.
Now let's get to your comments, what you all had to say about this post. Peas in a Pod said laws need to be passed for a nationwide public list of parents/adults who have lost their kids as CPS so they cannot ever use those kids to benefit financially in any way. What do you think?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Me too.
You shouldn't have to have dang law. Common sense should be factoring in. I can't even talk. I'm so angry.
Diamond Eyes said, I figured she'd go after money as much as possible. She wouldn't have lost Harmony and Jameson if she was some sort of supermom.
Yeah.
CW said, damn, she entered a supermom contest? That's insane. I had some sympathy for the woman. Addiction is awful, and Harmony didn't die at her hands. Although her losing custody didn't help. But supermom? Hell no.
Hell no.
Kimberly Mann said, this has had me unhinged all morning.
Bless you. I guess I'm not the only one.
Mhm. MTV said, "Oh, wow, what a POS she really is. No supermom would ever do such a thing. She lost the right to call herself his mother. He has good, loving parents, and he calls someone else mom. Ugh,
Yeah.
this has me so upset."
Yeah. There aren't anybody pro Crystal, are there?
No, not one. And I went through and I went through and I went through.
Not gonna fit with us. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Doxy Mom said, "I highly doubt she would even have a slight chance of winning. She's moving up in the ranks because she keeps telling everyone that Harmony was murdered."
Yeah.
Paper Slut said, "Why is the site asking for the parents to provide proof they are the parents? I highly doubt they asked Crystal to prove it. That's what I want to know. Why are they giving them hell?"
Because it's drawn a lot of people to their site and they can earn money.
Yeah, you called it because I'm looking at right now. For me to vote, you can get
Mhm.
2 free votes, which I'm not voting for her ass. 20 votes is $10. 50 votes is 25. 100 votes is 50. 200 votes is 100. 500 votes is 250. So
Imagine
this
that.
so this goes to Women's World Magazine. And on top of that, old Crystal to go to Nampa and hang out in wine country, and she gets 20 grand. Now
Yeah.
let's just go back in time, and we're going to make a collaborative decision if she should even be considered. I think Susan's got her mind made up, don't you, Susan?
Oh, I absolutely have my mind made up.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go back in time to look at exactly how she advocated for Harmony, who we know is murdered, but is still missing.
Yeah.
Hearing from the biological mother of Harmony Montgomery, the 5-year-old girl who police say was murdered by her father. Crystal Sorey.
Look at Minnie Meth. She shows up to the vigil wearing a Minnie Mouse costume. Look at this.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did she really stand in front of a mirror before she left and thought that was a good idea?
Oh, it gets better. Look what she says.
Has said very little publicly since her daughter's disappearance. Today, a vigil was held for Harmony in Manchester, New Hampshire, where loved ones shared hugs and memories of the little girl. And her mom explained why she dressed in a Minnie Mouse outfit for the occasion.
I figured after everything that's been happening, that I would go for Halloween as her favorite character, and I'm her favorite person, so.
No self-realization. She goes,
No.
"Oh, I figured I'd go for Halloween as her favorite character because I'm her favorite person." Are you kidding me?
Oh. I have no words. She's an idiot.
Listen to her again.
Halloween as her favorite character, and I'm her favorite person, so it seemed right.
Crystal Sorey reported her daughter missing last year, but police believe she was last seen in 2019. Last week, her father, Adam Montgomery, was charged in her murder.
But she showed up as Minnie Mouse because she said that's her favorite character and I'm her favorite person. Okay, super meth mom.
Yeah. I can't even with her. I can't. I'm gonna read.
It's disgusting.
It is.
During the investigation, okay, this is from WCVB, got to give the credit. We don't want people coming in saying that I'm stealing the content. Old Crystal made up a big whopper. Big whopper. And her sister,
Yep.
who has aged a little more gracefully than Crystal, was on the news and repeated this big old lie. I even called Manchester police to tell them about it, and they asked me to send it over, and they were just kind of like, oh, wow. I believe you guys were on the phone with me. We were in Discord when I did it.
I believe so.
There's people that have come forward and said that they've seen Harmony in 2020, that they've either hugged her or given her something.
The aunt of Harmony Montgomery says Harmony's mom 2 weeks ago met with an employee of a New Hampshire dollar store where the child secretly warned the clerk that Adam and his wife Kayla Montgomery changed the girl's name.
She whispered to the lady, she said, "My name's Harmony." I'm sorry, it just makes me upset to think about it. And
Okay.
Such a liar.
I mean, we will revisit this in a second, but
Yeah.
she told her sister that she met with a Dollar General employee and that this Dollar General employee just happened to tell her that she saw Harmony in 2020.
Yeah, buying a Halloween costume nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. And we know that that is impossible. That couldn't have happened because we know what happened. It's right here. Kayla said Adam was driving the vehicle and Harmony was in the rear seat on the passenger side. And while Adam was driving, he turned his body and delivered sets of 3 to 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face/head on 3 separate occasions over the course of a few minutes. Kayla said after the final blow, Adam said, "I think I really hurt her this time. I did something." Kayla said Harmony began moaning, which continued for about 5 minutes before it stopped. No one checked on her or sought medical attention for her. And shortly after noon, Kayla said she and Adam discovered that Harmony was not breathing and had died. From there, they put her in an Under Armour duffel bag and continued to transport her around until she was dismembered at the Union Street apartment. But Crystal had the balls to make up this story. I feel bad for the aunt for actually being on the news and repeating this, regurgitating this, and now knowing her sister lied to her.
And now you know how far Crystal will go to cover her ass.
Yep.
Golly. It's so sickening.
It is sickening.
The poor lady, what you went through.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you what, the aunt is no Mary Poppins, okay?
No.
And I'm leaving Teardrop and Step Meth alone today because this is all about Crystal. We can talk for a week.
Yeah.
We can talk for a week about how nasty these people are. Hell, we could talk for the rest of the month. We can talk till 4th of July. We got content for days about how horrible they are. But Crystal wants $20,000 and a trip to Napa, California.
She ain't, oh. Nah. She don't
The
deserve
girl's
it.
name.
she whispered to the lady, she said, "My name's Harmony." I'm sorry, it just makes me upset to think about it. And it just stuck to her.
The family went to police.
She was shaken up. She was scared. She was nervous. She was, crying.
The store encounter was early 2020. The store employee now keeps in touch about the missing Harmony.
And Adam came to the store and told the lady, "Stop asking questions to my family." So that's the last tip we've got so far. But they named her Ansley. They kept saying her name was Ansley. And she said, "My name is Harmony." And she whispered it to the lady. And
Reacting to that scathing Office of Child Advocate report, Harmony's mother texted News Center 5.
Liar.
Anything to stay relevant. So after her sister goes and blares out to the universe this big old fat lie, all Crystal could do was text the news station and says, "For me, it just goes to show how badly they failed my daughter. I never went to visit. That was not a good idea. He is a violent person."
Oh, really, Crystal? You failed her first. Did you deliver the Easter basket? I don't think so.
Nope.
Hmm.
The governor's report came out. We could see plainly that everything she said was fabricated. Notice how she took down all those posts on Facebook. Jay
Yeah.
has a question. I'm going to let Susan answer it. Jay wants to know what caused Adam to lose control in the car to unalive Harmony.
She wet herself.
Yep.
They were living in the car, and instead of getting up, and she was afraid to ask to go to the bathroom, and they got up and they went to get their fix at the methadone place, but they didn't take her to the bathroom because she was covered with bruises. He's not a nice guy. And she left him with her.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that man. I hate that man. And it's a sin to hate, and I hate him. I don't care.
That's okay.
God,
God gave us a brain for a reason. We have a brain and we have a heart for a reason.
he beat that baby to death.
We also know that Harmony was made to clean the toilet with toothbrushes. She was made to stand in the corner until she wet herself. We know that, Crystal did not show up to advocate and tell them how bad he is when Adam was getting custody of her. It is just one failure after another, and they can scream CPS from the top of the mountain. Have at it. I do think that they owe a huge accountability in this. But when she settles that lawsuit, this is only my opinion, which does not count. That money needs to go to Jameson, because without Jameson, nobody would even know that Harmony was missing. Do you agree, Susan?
Oh, I totally agree with you. Because he was asking for her, and his fathers got a hold of Crystal to see how they could get a hold of Adam. She wasn't looking for her. Not at that point. I'm right there with you.
I think our second show we did about Harmony, Mama Kay said, and she's been busy, she'll be back. She said Crystal wasn't looking for Harmony. Jameson was.
Absolutely.
Like Britt said right here, a little boy sounded the alarm, not Crystal.
That's exactly true, but she's going to take all the credit for it. You've seen it.
Oh, we've been watching this since 2022. We started covering the case in January of 2022.
I remember.
Uh-huh.
Reacting to that scathing Office of Child Advocate report, Harmony's mother texted News Center 5. For me, it just goes to show how badly they failed my daughter. I never missed a visit. Child custody to Adam, that was not a good idea. He is a violent person.
The lady paid for like a Halloween costume or something that Harmony wanted, and Kayla wouldn't get it for her. Whatever we need to do, we're holding out hope she's still here, and we just can bring her home to a safe space where everybody loves her.
Yeah.
Squippany. Nobody at the Dollar General in Manchester, New Hampshire spoke to Crystal. She made that whole thing up.
Absolutely.
And the minute
Why would anybody volunteer that information? I don't know her from Adam. Well, it's a phrase, not Adam. Adam.
Ashley said she never had a visit except over video a time or two. That is exactly right. But she wants 20 grand a weekend in Nampa, California, and to be titled Supermom. Like, she wants to wear the crown, the sash, and everything.
And I still say that's to help with the suit against DCF.
Absolutely. Now let's get to the real super parents, and those are the people that adopted Jameson and have given him a fabulous life.
Yeah.
Imagine how enraged they are right now, knowing that they have spent all this money. And I know people say, well, it's really not about money. It's really not about money. Oh, come on. Come on. I mean, they always say, put your money where your mouth is. They spent a ton of money adopting him, buying a beautiful home, setting up a beautiful family unit for all of these children they have adopted. And she really wants to shit on that?
And therapy. That boy's going to be in therapy for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I would hope not, but probably is. And she's going to come in and try to play the hero and drift off of him. That's evil. I'm sorry, that's just evil.
It is evil. And had Crystal answered the phone,
yeah,
Blair and Jonathan would have adopted Harmony as well.
Absolutely.
And she would be alive. Not
she's out there being super mom.
She would be alive. We wouldn't even know she existed. We wouldn't be talking about her right now. She wouldn't have been cut up in a bathtub. But Crystal could not be bothered. But now she wants to be called Supermom.
Now she has something to gain from it.
Bingo. Now she has something to gain from it. All right, let's look at this. This is from Blair, Jameson's father. Okay, this is his father. Not biological, but you don't have to whip out your ovaries or your dick to be a parent.
Harmony's beautiful life and what perhaps could have happened to her if her biological father hadn't asserted his parental rights and kept her when he was clearly unfit to parent a child. I want to welcome in a very special guest. He is the adoptive father for Harmony Montgomery's biological brother, Jameson. I want to welcome in my friend, Blair Miller. Blair, you are a personal friend of mine, and you are also a colleague. I want our courties to know you've worked in journalism for a long, long time. You've worked at the local level, at the national level. You're working for Boston 25 News. Now you're also a writer. You write for the Washingtonian in D.C. This has to be so hard as being dad.
Can I say something that is not politically correct? Am I allowed?
I guess. I'll let you know.
Let's take a vote from the crowd. Can I say something that is not politically correct? Jean Ellen, Lisa, Aggie said, of course, only if you want to. Don't you hate it when the good-looking dudes go gay? Damn it.
He is quite handsome, isn't he?
Good looking, smart. I hate when the good looking ones go gay.
Good job.
Damn it. We can dig up a damn loser all over the place. Hell, they're growing out of
Yeah.
They're growing out of the ground like damn dandelions.
Yeah.
But said I feel that. My God. I hate it. I hate it.
And also being someone who works in the media, who's a public figure. First question to you, please. How are you and your family doing this morning?
And Julie, thanks for having me on. Thanks for your friendship and thanks for all that you all do on this story, because it is important to talk about. I've read through many affidavits in my lifetime. We knew this was coming. We knew the details of this. But when you read through all that, it's, as you said, it's sickening. It's disturbing, beyond disturbing, to read the details of what was happening in this little girl's reality, knowing that it didn't have to happen.
I'll second that.
Look at her beautiful little face. And what really is so disturbing, besides two good looking dudes going gay and not, taking care of, the nice women out here, but hey, they're happy. Good for them. Great parents. But what is so disturbing is Blair and Jonathan were more ingrained in Harmony's case than Crystal ever even imagined being. Susan and I had many talks about this.
Yes, we did. And I wish they would have been able to adopt her and keep Jameson with her, or even the other foster parents.
Mm-hmm.
I just cannot believe that judge gave that monster, I'm trying to be nice, he gave him custody.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I have no words. And that she didn't speak up for her, knowing what he was like. I don't have words. They're monsters.
And the judge is horrible too. You're going to love this, Susan. All right. So everybody, this is where I say we have to check on Susan because she won't be okay. He even bought a bigger boat and it's docked in Nantucket.
Bucket. Blah. Hopefully it will sink.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In Nantucket, of course it is. Of course it is.
And from what I'm understanding, it's really not cheap to own a big boat, and it's really not cheap to have it docked in Nantucket.
Nantucket is very elite. Ah, isn't that just like it? Oh, I can't stand this.
But that goes to show you about that crowd. Like you said, the very elite. It's like it's like we get all these talking tubes all the time from Holly Weird. They're the enlightened. They're the ones that just love everybody. They're perfect. They look down on all of us, but they turn a blind eye when it comes to children being horrifically abused. And that has always really bothered me. So you want to tell me how to act and what is politically correct, but within a yardstick of you, there are children on your watch being abused, and you throw your hands up like, oh, I didn't know. Who are they to judge us?
Exactly. They can't be bothered. That's much below them.
Mm-hmm.
I hate people. I really do sometimes hate people.
But I love you.
You can do that to little children. I have no use for you.
Zero. None. Zero. None.
None.
And could you just imagine? Can you just imagine Crystal with her big old stinking hog teeth being in Napa, California, having a great time, bragging to all the well-to-doers about what a great mom she is, and they're patting her on the back, giving her hugs. Oh, I can't believe you went through all that. Oh, come here. You're such a strong mama. And that's what it's going to look like.
I was so mistreated, and that nobody understands what it's like. Monster. No. Yeah. If she had any decency about her, she'd take it down.
She's not going to. And Blair and Jonathan, they're even getting legal counsel saying, take this down.
And I think that's truly the hardest part of all this. My husband and I started reading some of this yesterday. We'd take breaks, we'd cry, we'd hear from friends, and then we'd read again. And it's just really hard to imagine any of it, but really to imagine the life that Harmony Montgomery was living, and how she was put in that situation. That didn't have to happen, and that's the hardest part.
Right, Blair. And I want to go into more of that, if I may, please. I told our courties on the show who are so interested in this case and their hearts break for Harmony. And I know as they're getting to know you, more and more. I'm sure they'll be reaching out to you and be following you in everything you've been putting out about this case for Jameson and your other boys. What really saddens me, and I mentioned this on the show, and I would love for you to speak to it if you would, please, is that you and your wonderful husband, Jonathan, were willing to adopt Harmony too at the time that you adopted Jameson. But
okay, and this is really important, that Jonathan and Blair were more than willing to adopt Harmony as well. There they are on the screen. They even have invited Crystal to their home multiple times, met her at playgrounds, anything they could do to help her. And I'm sure it got taxing and exhausting for them. Could you imagine, Susan?
No, I couldn't imagine. But I see their hearts are in the right place. But they don't understand how she works. She wasn't in it for Jameson. She wasn't. She was seeing what she could get out of Jameson.
Well, and she didn't really seem to have an interest until Harmony's story became nationwide. Because I don't know if it was Blair or Jonathan, one of the dads contacted Crystal and said, we just really want to get Harmony and Jameson together. We want to know where to send presents to Harmony and things like that. Well, she couldn't be bothered. After they stayed on her and stayed on her and stayed on her, she finally got off her ass and started making some phone calls, is really what she did. But she's super mom.
Adam Montgomery had asserted his parental rights with Harmony. Am I correct on that, Blair?
Sure. Yeah. And so Jameson is our third son. Our older two we adopted, and then we wanted to adopt again, or it found us. And we were matched with Jameson. And the day we were matched with him, we were instantly told he has a sister. He's been in foster care with this sister. She took care of him. And we said, tell us more about her. And we learned her name, Harmony. And we learned about her background. And we said instantly, what do we need to do? Because if Jameson has a close relationship with her, we want to have a close relationship with her as well. And told social services in Massachusetts instantly we'd be open to adopting her as well if that's what needed to happen. And we were quickly told, well, that's a different situation. And she's been reunited with her biological father. And we continue to say, please leave that door open, because it's important to Jameson. And even now he talks about her and talks about how much she has meant to him. And we wish we could have tried harder. We wish we could have done more. We wish that door was still open at the time. And we.
Okay, I'm about to break down crying. I really am.
Yeah.
Because Blair and Jonathan are kicking themselves that they didn't do more. But guess who isn't?
Yeah.
Superman.
The one drifting.
Yeah, Superman. She's not kicking herself in the ass, but Blair and Jonathan are. They're like, we wish we could have done more.
That's so sad. She would have had with them.
Peach State Mama said, so aggravating. Unification with birth parents is not always the best option. Wish these courts would start to realize that. What I'm understanding, never been through it, is when a child is put up for adoption, it can be open or closed. I'm sure you guys have all heard that. Do y'all remember that show? You might still watch it, Teen Mom. And there was that couple, Caitlin and Tyler. I think that's their names. And they put their daughter, Carly, up for adoption. And they kept it open, and they wanted to, see her grow up, get pictures, things like that. Well, the adoptive parents finally whittled them out of her life because they just did not feel like it was the best for her. And I can't say that I blame them.
No, I can't either. You've got to put your children first.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we can scream all day about the judge and, Department of Human Services, CPS, whatever you want to call them, but it starts at home.
Yeah.
How do you make these families better? Nobody had to teach Blair and Jonathan how to be empathetic, good, hardworking men to their family.
I don't have the answer. Value life. I honestly, I don't know why some people can be empathetic and other people just don't give a damn. I don't.
Teresa said Crystal was the first to repeatedly fail Harmony.
And I can't argue with that.
Nope. It breaks my heart. It really does that Jonathan and Blair are still blaming themselves for not doing more. And I think they have done more than their lion's share. Way more.
Way more. And it's so
Continue
sad.
to ask, how is Harmony doing? And how can we still have a relationship with her? How can Jameson have a relationship with her? And we never got anywhere on that.
Blair, you and your husband are the most wonderful people. People like you are truly angels on earth, adopting 3 boys, giving them the most wonderful life they could ever have. And the fact that you were willing to adopt Harmony too, that she was loved, even though you really didn't even know her yet, you loved her and you wanted to bring her in. And I have to tell you, my friend, all I kept thinking about yesterday, reading that affidavit, was that you and Jonathan saved Jameson's life. All I kept thinking about was if his dad would have asserted his parental rights with Jameson too, I can't imagine what kind of danger he would have been in. I would think it would have been the same danger that Harmony was in.
He wasn't his dad.
No, she's saying if Jameson's father would have done the same thing as Adam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't even know who Jameson's father was.
I don't think Crystal knows.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Crystal knows. And it's not every day that you see a, TV news anchor holding back tears. Look at this woman.
Yeah, I see her.
I mean, she's gulping it back, thinking about what could have happened. And then you have Blair. He looks like he could spit nails right now, but they are blaming themselves. I don't like it, but that shows integrity, that shows character, and that shows their good heart.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's misplaced in this situation.
Totally. But it just shows what good people they are.
Yeah.
We think about that a lot. We think about the life Harmony could have. We think about the life Jameson and Harmony could have together. We worry deeply about how this is going to impact Jameson. Our motivation all along has been, this isn't about us. This is about how is Jameson going to judge this when he is 15, 20, 25, 30, etc. And I'm starting to struggle with, I always thought we could navigate that pretty well. But when you read stuff like what we read yesterday, knowing the details of it, knowing what's going to come out in court, you start to, as a father, I start to question the peace that Jameson will ever have with this when he's old enough to really, truly understand it. Going through that affidavit yesterday, I told you this yesterday, there was a date that stuck out to us, and that was December 7th of 2019. And in the court paperwork, they talk about how that was the day they believed that Harmony died. And we were going back through our own calendar, and that was the first birthday we celebrated with Jameson after we had officially adopted him. And we can't help but struggle to think about how we were here celebrating him, celebrating his life, celebrating him being a Miller, while his sister was experiencing a whole different world and reality. And that is really a tough thing to try to understand. You can't understand it.
No, because it is so sickening and evil what happened to this beautiful little girl who was loved by your family, who was wanted by your family, and to think that she was living in a car, perhaps didn't even have enough food to eat. When I was reading the affidavit, a neighbor was kind enough to give them some Thanksgiving leftovers, didn't have a bathroom to use. It's just heartbreaking, as you know, Blair. And I want to highlight some of the incredible things that you and Jonathan and your 3 boys do to remember Harmony. And just the other day, I believe it was on June the 7th, if I'm correct, Harmony's birthday, you have a tradition, right? I want you to tell our viewers about that. We have one of your tweets where you put some pictures up and you talked about what little Jameson says about how all rivers and oceans lead to heaven.
Jameson is a really special little boy, and he's 6 years old, and he is wise beyond his years. And he is also very matter of fact about his relationship with Harmony. He knows she is past. He knows she's in heaven. And my husband, Jonathan, and Jameson talk a lot about this and talk a lot about, how to remember her. And we'll constantly be in the store and say, hey, Jameson, what would Harmony's favorite toy be? What would her favorite color be? And we try to include that part of this conversation. But for her birthday each year, we celebrate it. And this past birthday, we went to the Potomac here in DC, and we had gotten 9 purple flowers, her favorite color. And that's a picture of our 3 boys. And we took them over there and had a moment. And Jameson said he wanted to put them in the river because all rivers lead to heaven. And
Okay, I've got to stop it right there because I'm breaking down. Kimberly said, Brooks, do you know where Stepmouth is? She's somewhere around Manchester, New Hampshire, hanging out. I hear she's also been hanging around Lowell, Massachusetts. She's not back in jail, but she will be soon because she, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. God. Now, does Minnie Math, does Crystal, does she go to the Potomac with purple flowers and celebrate Harmony's birthday? But they're doing it.
Doubtful at all.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to put on her Minnie Mouse thing and parade in front of a freaking camera. Mm-hmm. That's not. Oh, this case broke me.
It did. I know. That's why every time we talk about it, I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I always say check on Susan because she's not okay. Before we get to this, I want to give a special shout out to our friend Preschool Granny. She was looking forward to being a great-grandmother. Her great-grandson passed away, unfortunately. And now she is making arrangements, keeping her family up, heads above water, faith in Christ on this Holy Week. And I just want everyone to please wrap your arms around Preschool Granny and just let her know how much we love her.
I'm so sorry. That's awful.
It is.
Oh, God.
She said something in chat yesterday and she sent me an email and I just thought, you've got to be kidding me. We spoke on the phone this morning. Such a beautiful woman, selfless,
It's so hard.
And for a 6-year-old boy to be able to communicate that, it just hits you in the gut. And again, this is about trying to create some bit of normalcy for Jameson, so that one day he knows that he did all he could, and we did all we could.
Certainly. And you are, Blair, I applaud you for being so courageous to be sharing things so personal publicly, to try to have everyone remember what a precious little angel she was. You tweeted something out to that effect about you want people to not remember the bad or what happened, but, you know, remember that this was a beautiful little child who was loved.
Well, we've always been very outspoken about adoption, and we've always tried to be really advocates for adoption. You know, you talk about the good things we're doing. These boys are doing good things for us, and I don't want that to be lost on us, lost on them, because they've saved us. You know, and they are have made us better people by adopting. We haven't made them better, and we've just tried to be very public about this at first because we wanted to find harmony. We still want to find harmony. And now it's turned into, what are we doing to make sure this doesn't happen again? And we have to look at through the lens of Jameson, of how he will judge us and society for how everyone treated his sister. And so it's so important to us that we focus on the good. There's a lot of evil in this world right now. There's a lot of evil in this case. And for us, it's just trying to focus on the good and focus on the positivity, this sweet little girl, that when we look at her picture, that we see love and we see a sweet little angel, that we don't see evil.
Oh, Blair, so beautifully said.
That's almost impossible for me to wrap my mind around, because they're forecasting a lifetime of explaining to Jameson, we did all we can do.
Yeah.
We tried.
Anyway, parental guilt.
Mm-hmm. And we know that at any time you can pick up a device and you can type in Harmony Montgomery, and you're going to horrible things.
Horrible, horrible things.
But none of it's your fault. None of it's our fault. You know, I mean, they keep him in therapy because he's going to have, especially in the teenage years, he's going to have a lot of, well, hormones.
And you know how kids are. Somebody could be cruel and bully him.
Yeah.
And that scares me. That poor boy. I don't, yeah. This poor kid.
Let's take a minute and remember Harmony.
Sweet little girl.
That's sweet, baby. Kimberly said, Brooks, can we do a fundraiser to get all three boys a bike for Christmas or something, maybe a Disneyland trip? You know what? We actually tried this. I reached out to Blair via Twitter, and he said they're well taken care of and just keep being supportive.
Yeah. The opposite of Crystal.
Yeah. They just said no. They're very well taken care of, but you know, we really appreciate it. I mean, they weren't shitty or anything. Just
matter of fact, they didn't need the help. Give it to somebody who does. There's nothing wrong with that.
So Blair again sat down with tough reality, and I can't imagine a tougher reality than what Blair, Jonathan, Jameson, and I won't name the other boys are going through, because they adopt Jameson and then somehow they're wrapped up in a horrific murder of a beautiful little girl named Harmony Renee Montgomery.
Really heartbreaking to think about everything that sweet child went through. And what's more is that there was a safe and loving family who wanted to adopt her. Joining me in the studio, a very special guest. I'm so pleased to call him my friend, my colleague, Blair Miller. Blair, thank you for being here in the studio with us.
Joy.
And I know this time isn't easy. And I truly can't say enough wonderful things about you personally and professionally. And our viewing audience has come to somewhat hear about your story. You've been on with us before, but I want to make this crystal clear that you and your husband, Jonathan, were willing to adopt Harmony along with her brother, Jameson, who you have adopted. What happened with Harmony? Why weren't you able to, Blair?
So when we went through the adoption process with Jameson, our third and youngest son, we instantly heard that he had a sister. And one of our first questions was, what's that situation? What are we looking at adopting 2 more children here? Or what's the situation? We were instantly told that he did have a sister. And we were told by him he had a sister. And they were very close. They were in foster care together, in and out of foster homes. And we were immediately told by the state of Massachusetts that Harmony had, that situation had already been taken care of. She had been reunified with her father, who is a different father than what Jameson has, biologically. And so we were told that was not an option. We continued to ask, what's that situation? Because it's important to Jameson. It was important to him, and so therefore it was important to us. And we had always said, if that door is open, we want to walk through it and figure out what's going on. Of course, now we hear everything. It's painful to hear it.
Oh, Blair, I can't even imagine. I've been saying the heartbreak, I'm sure your husband, Jonathan, feels, your boys, you and Jonathan, I see, they're like angels on earth. They really are. They've adopted 3 beautiful little boys, all from different families. Jameson is the youngest. I mean, you have saved Jameson's life. And I think what is so tragic about this, you and Jonathan wanted to save Harmony's too, had it not been for Adam Montgomery asserting his parental rights.
Sure, and the timing here was, pretty unique because Harmony had already been reunified with her father back in February. And we adopted Jameson officially in August of that same year. And we look at the timeline of everything. When we officially did his adoption in court, and then his birthday was right after that. It was all around Thanksgiving, when now we know what was happening to sweet Harmony. And it is so very painful to know that we were celebrating Jameson's 3rd birthday the same weekend that she was killed in the backseat of that car. And that is a tough reality.
How much does Jameson know about the reality?
But Crystal wants to be supermom.
Yeah. Well, she was sitting in the back seat getting pummeled, and they drove through and got their breakfast because it's the best meal of the day. Ugh, how could you do that?
And went back in because Kayla Stepmeth didn't have enough ketchup for her tater rounds, while Harmony is dying in the back seat.
Next to her siblings.
Next to her siblings. And we have a whole playlist about Harmony.
God, yes.
Check it out when you aren't nauseous.
He's 7, and, but like I said, from day one, he has always said he has a sister. He will say now he has a sister. He loves to tell everyone about his family. In fact, we showed this
there.
picture.
Blair, that drawing, this has some significance, doesn't it?
And this was just last week or the week before. He came home and showed Jonathan, my husband, what he made at school. And he's got his 2 dads there, his 2 brothers there.
I know
his
this
2
is hard
dogs,
for you.
but
I know.
he has that heart.
He's crying. She's crying. I'm trying.
Golly. She deserves so much better.
Got his animals. He's got his 2 dads. He's got his 2 brothers. And then there's Harmony in the sky. God bless him.
right there with the H in it.
Up at the top.
Yeah. For Harmony.
Because she's an angel. Is that why? Because it's like the heart was raised above.
Yes. And you know, as the search unfolded, we were very involved in trying to get answers. Even before she was officially missing, we were trying to press for answers and trying to figure out what was going on, because we knew behind the scenes something was wrong. We weren't sure to what extent.
Right.
And really for Jameson, we wanted to bridge that relationship together. We wanted sibling visitations because it was important to him. It's important to us. And so we got to a point where we really need to, we've been very public about this because we wanted to bring attention to finding Harmony. We still want that to happen.
Right.
And we got to a point where we needed to tell Jameson that something is, you know, Harmony's not here anymore and she's in heaven. And the moment we did, and Jameson, if he is a very wild little boy, as they should be. And it was one of the first times he just sat and collapsed in our arms and just sat there. And we said, she's in heaven. And he just wanted to know. And one of the first things he said is, what happened to her and who hurt her, which is very profound for a 6-year-old, 7-year-old at the time. And so now we, you know, she is part of our conversation. And this was when he actually adopted him.
And Cash.
And Judge Erskine there, who did our adoption. And this was a special day for us. And you know, Jameson had already been through a lot of trauma in his life, in and out of a lot of different foster homes. And he had came to us with all his belongings in a trash bag.
Okay,
Let's
go back to Supermom. She wants the 20 grand. She has a lawsuit against CPS in New Hampshire and I believe also in Massachusetts.
Yes.
Said he had already gone through a lot of trauma, being in and out of foster homes. When he came to us, what little he had was in a trash bag.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
but that's the way they travel. I know it is.
So Blair and Jonathan are already dealing with traumatic childhoods for their 3 sons. Because, I mean, let's face it, I'm going to be unpolitically correct. You adopt a child from foster care, they didn't get dropped off like Moses in a basket, okay? There was some scary stuff going on for it to get that far. So you're already dealing with that. And then Harmony is missing. No one has seen Harmony since 2019. Oh, Harmony has been murdered. Oh, Harmony was carried around a duffel bag. Oh, Harmony was put in a freezer. Oh, Harmony was put in a ceiling at a homeless shelter. Oh, Harmony was dismembered at the Union Street apartment. Oh, that's too much for an adult to take. But they have to try to be strong and keep their kids strong on top. How would you even do that, Susan?
I don't know how you would navigate that, honestly. As an adult, I don't know how you would do that. And Jameson's supposed to do that? Selfish, Crystal, selfish.
Mm-hmm. But she's Supermom.
Yeah.
20 grand and wants to go to Nampa, California. And I tell you what, I've been watching this and watching this and watching. When I saw she went from 9th to 8th, I about lost it. Because some people will go and vote just for the drama.
Yeah.
They will. We know how shitty people are.
Yeah, and it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. You give somebody a damn iPad or a phone, they can do real shitty things.
He had already been through too much. And now this is part of his story, and it's our job to figure out how to protect him, but also help him and us as a family work through some of this.
Right. Blair, I have loved for years, before I even knew you personally and just admired your work, as a journalist.
Sweet.
It's the truth, really. I was a big fan of yours, journalistically for many years before I had the pleasure of getting to know you personally. And I know that you do things to mark special occasions like Harmony's birthday in June, don't you? You mark the occasion with your kids.
Yeah, and this is really led by my husband, Jonathan, who is the heart of our family. And so every year on our birthday, we do celebrate, and that's what these pictures are here. And we have a birthday cake. We maybe get some flowers or balloons. One year we let balloons go for one for each of her years. And each of our boys let them go into the sky. Going to heaven is what he wanted to do. And then one time when we were living up in DC, he said, let's get some flowers and throw them in the Potomac River. And then they will reach his sister in heaven.
That's right.
So we try to make it part of, that conversation, his life, because the last thing we want him to do is wake up when he's 15, 16 years old and think, what's happened in my life?
Right.
And what have my dads done or not done? And that is our motivation every single day is, what are we doing to help him deal with this awful situation? So we do make it part of, every year we do celebrate that. And as painful as it is, I think there is some bit of healing for him, for us, for our other two boys. How do they talk to their brother about it?
Right.
And just this week, we're having some of those same conversations at home.
Oh, I know you are. Gosh, Blair, when Jameson talks about Harmony, I would imagine he's got some memories of her, right? That he really does remember being with her. What does he share?
He talks a lot. It used to be we'd be at a park and he'd see a little girl with blonde hair and might remind him of her blue eyes. He will talk about. And he will just say how much he loves her.
Oh.
And we've heard a lot of stories about the role that Harmony played with Jameson when they were in foster care together. We heard this yesterday in court. And as special as that is, it's also really hard to hear because this was a little girl that was protecting him. And now we're constantly asking ourselves who was protecting her. No one was.
No.
Right.
No one. And it is.
No,
No
unfortunately, no
No
one.
one. Not a mom, not a dad, not a
Every
grandpa, not a
freaking
grandma.
adult around- Every freaking adult around her failed her. Ugh. And it makes me so angry. Where was her grandparents? Where was her aunt? God love her.
Okay, so it says Supermom, Crystal sorry. Should just be Crystal sorry. Crystal Meth sorry. I have 3 children. One was murdered by her father, my oldest, and my youngest has autism.
Wonder why that is, Crystal.
I wonder if he really does.
I don't know. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
You're a better person than me.
Why? I don't know why.
I put the link in
She's
again.
proving time and again that she's not a good person.
No. All right, back to court TV. Again, check Susan because her blood pressure won't be good after this. We're going to go back to what Supermom did quite a while ago when she went to a judge. She got off her ass, washed her hair, brushed her buck teeth, and went in front of the judge when she couldn't do it for Jameson. She couldn't do it for Harmony, couldn't do it for anything. But
She'll get her today.
But she showed up in front of this judge. And Crystal, I know you're in here. You are welcome to come up and defend yourself. That's what it's about. I promise everyone will be polite to you. We will be kind to you. Someone's going to have to make sense of this because she shows up in front of a judge in her best, cleanest hoodie she could find off the floor to declare Harmony dead so she could pursue lawsuits.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? What an idea. What a bitch.
You're here in case number 316-2024, ET-225, the estate of Harmony Montgomery. I'm Judge Kissinger. We're here in the Ninth Circuit Probate Division in Nashville. And we're here on a petition for administration of an estate of a person presumed dead pursuant to RSA 55318 and 55319. And we are here on that petition submitted by the mother of Harmony Montgomery, Crystal Sorey. We also have via WebEx from the New Hampshire Department of Corrections in Concord to allow for attendance of the father, Adam Montgomery. This is an intestate estate. So service was made on both mother and father. So she had an attorney prepare an estate for Harmony. She goes in front of the judge when she couldn't be bothered before. Jay has a question. Can Supermom give one reason why she deserves to get the money in this contest? I'm going to let Susan answer this because right now her blood pressure is stroke level.
Not that I can figure out. I wish she would. One reason. I just don't. I don't. She can take the SUE bus. If she doesn't have her kids, how in the hell is she a super mom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. If you're out there, Crystal, come on.
Oh,
I will be so respectful.
Oh, she's
I will
here.
be myself and I will not say another word.
Oh, she's here. She doesn't like us very well, Susan.
Yeah, well, ask me if I give a shit.
Isn't that weird that we can have such amazing friends and be so close with each other? And we have these people that just hate our asses.
I'm not going to concern myself with it.
And by publication. So I'm going to start by asking just the parties in the courtroom to identify themselves to the record, starting right here.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sheila Caulfield, I'm counsel for Crystal Sorey, who's with me today.
State your name again.
Hi, I'm Crystal Sorey.
All right, and on the WebEx, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
And is Mr. Montgomery attending?
No, ma'am. My name is Corporal Winkowski on behalf of New Hampshire State Prison for Men. He did refuse. There will be a written memo that goes to the major and then to the commissioner.
And sir, can you spell your last name for me?
Wienckoi.
Wienckoi. All right. On another note, this might lower Susan's blood pressure. Adam had to be moved from the men's penitentiary in New Hampshire to Virginia because he was targeted by other prisoners. A bunch of dudes went and pooped in the potty and they held his head in it and they used the plunger, but not on the potty, if you know what I mean.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My give a damn is busted. I don't give a damn.
He had to go to the infirmary for plunger abuse. Hey, these guys are lifers. They don't care either way. They got nothing to lose.
That did lower my blood pressure. I just got a giggle. That's horrible, right?
He got a big old. He got a belly full of black poop and
it's still better than Harmony got.
Yeah. And no Burger King to top it off. All right, so here's Crystal wanting Harmony declared dead so she can make an estate, and sue.
Do you swear any testimony given in this proceedings the truth and the pains and penalties of perjury?
Look at those talons on her. What?
Nasty. She can afford those, but no. She got to grift off her babies.
Mm-hmm. And she's missing the so she broke it, still showed up. I don't understand how people wipe with those. I mean, we're all women here. Most of us are women, unless paper sluts in here. Whoa. You'd have to use like a spritzer bottle or something to get yourself cleaned up.
Hey. You need a bidet.
Yep.
That's nasty. Oh my goodness.
He's nasty.
I do.
Go ahead, Attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. As a housekeeping measure, I do have a copy of the return of service if the court would like to see a copy, and I have the tear sheets from the paper.
Okay, I'll take the copies and we can get the tear sheets so we can stamp them in. Or after that, I do have some questions concerning moving forward. Again, the issue is whether you satisfy burden under by clear and convincing evidence. The other piece of this petition for state administration is whether Crystal Sori is the appropriate administrator. And that includes submission of a bond, that includes moving forward under Administrative Order 7 and Rule 101 of the probate rules. We'll get into that in a moment. So with respect to the bond, you filed for an expedited hearing because the intent was to file wrongful death actions. Is that right?
That's my understanding, yes. I'm not handling that case. However, that is my understanding from the attorneys that are.
Okay, and that's the attorney, and what's the name of the attorney?
Attorney Russ Riley.
And are those in Massachusetts, New Hampshire? Because I couldn't tell from your.
I believe New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire.
Yes.
It's a wrongful death action.
Yes.
Or it's anticipated. I mean, that's.
It will be. Yes.
All right. Okay. So, a couple things, Ms. Sori. If I appoint you as administrator, you're going to have duties to the court, and I need to make sure that you're being the person who tells those duties.
Yes.
These include providing a bond. So, has there been any offer, is there any indication of the amount that you expect to recover or hope to recover? Your action, you haven't gotten that far.
I don't believe we've gotten that far.
Oh.
I don't. There's not a set amount yet. I don't believe. Russ hasn't spoken one.
Okay. All right. So considering then setting. This is not. I've worked on other cases involving wrongful death actions of this nature. The numbers can be all over the place. However, at least to start and ask for $10,000 corporate. Are you able to post that? You have to go to an insurance company and get their corporate surety bond.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. So before the administration will be effective, it's a $10,000.
Okay.
The other issue is because this state is essentially being open to pursue a wrongful death action, assuming harmony and no assets.
Okay.
That because it's to pursue a wrongful death action, it will be subject to the requirements of the probate court rules and Administrative Order 7. So we'll require status reports as to the status of the wrongful death action. The first one will be for 6 months. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So she got her way. Wrongful death action. They declared Harmony dead. So she shows up for that.
Mm-hmm. And as much as I want accountability in the DCF, and she don't deserve a damn dime. I'm sorry.
Nope. And then she shows up for this. She's currently in 8th. She was 9th yesterday.
How many filters she got on that?
I want to know. That's not what she looks like. Holy hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to scare the shit out of them if she gets to Nampa.
Nasty.
All right, I'm going to link in here again because I know some of you are wanting to, reach out. And that's A-okay by me. I just can't promote it on the channel. But I just want to say, you guys are the absolute best. Because we know there is a lot of things going on YouTube. We know there's a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things to bitch about. I mean, shit, there's always something. But you're here today for Harmony because you're always here for the right reasons. And that actually breaks me more than anything. I'm going to let Susan continue before I have a breakdown.
You guys are amazing. And I just wish things were different. And Crystal, if you're listening, please do the right thing. Put the children first and take this down.
Take it down. Take it down. Saying you're getting $20,000 to invest in your children, you can't. You can't invest in Harmony because she's been murdered.
Yeah.
You can't invest in Jameson because Blair and Jonathan don't want it. And there's really
It's
nothing.
not too late for your baby.
Do
your
what?
little one. I said it's not too late. Change your ways for your little one. Put them first. It's not about money. Or it shouldn't be.
You can always make more money if you get off your ass, but you can't replace people.
Yeah.
You can't
Absolutely.
replace your puppy dogs, your kitties, your birds. It doesn't work that way. You get one shot at being a parent. I don't care if you got 12 kids or one. You get one shot.
And nobody's perfect. We're not expecting you to, but we're expecting you to be decent and caring and loving. God, I don't understand people.
I never will, girlfriend. I never will.
I don't want to. Not if that's the way you got to understand it.
Nope. Nope. Well, you guys, this has been a heartbreaking show. It's been a great show because we're still keeping Harmony's name out there. She is still technically missing.
God love her.
Is technically dead. And I hate to say it, but I don't think they're ever going to find her.
I don't either. God love her. I don't think they are either.
No.
He's a monster.
Walking Dead said always Harmony's Army. True crime beat. Yep. Well, you guys are the absolute best. I will see you over in Discord in about, I'd say, 30 minutes. Little Red said, hey, guys, guess what? Blair made her remove the fake pictures that did not belong to her on the submission. But
hallelujah. Oh, cool.
I hope he did, but I'm looking right now. Maybe I need to refresh because they're still up there. Thank you, Kimberly Mann, for donating Crime Lines and Lives memberships. Woo! Welcome to the family. She did. She removed it from her Facebook, but it's still on the Supermom thing.
Yeah.
It still takes the balls of a burglar for her to even do this.
Mitigated gall.
I don't know what to call it. Well, you guys go get a taco for me because I'm on a diet. I'm going to use my exercise bike today and see you guys over in Discord, one of the Facebook groups. And if I missed you there, then I'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Much love to one of my besties, Susan.
Bye, y'all.
Much love to Sophia. OG Nanny, look at that. Member for 4 months. Kimberly Mann. Crime Lines and Lives memberships. Look at this. Sophia. Girl. Well, you guys are the absolute best on these streets. And like I said, if I miss you around here this afternoon, oh, John Hopp said, love you, Brooks. Love you too, John. Then I'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. You guys are the best. You keep being you, okay? Don't let this world destroy you. You keep being you.